一下，今天我们请的嘉宾呢是 Crystal 曹，那就是呢，曹同学呢，他是在2013年呢来加拿大开始读9年级高中，属于是新移民。那对于他来讲呢，他是相当于我们中国很多来的留学生，或者是呢这种就是说，来到这边新移民的学生呢，开始会面临的很多问题。但是呢，他呢通过走过来这一路以后呢，又能够进入呢多大的这个商学院，就是说洛特曼商学院。这个洛特曼商学院呢，在加拿大来讲呢，也是一个比较知名的商学院。我之前在那个微信里也介绍过，就是说它基本上里边的这些院长和那个就是有几个院士，最后在管理专业方面的，所以呢也是非常有知名度的。所以而且呢，就是说上这个洛特曼商学院呢，它的那个录取的过程中呢，其实也是有很多就是大家可以去知道或者说了解的东西，这样呢会帮助你申请。而且呢，就是说我觉得比较好，就多伦多大学的这个名字呢，在国内来讲呢是比较响当当的。很多国内的孩子呢，不管是就是说是留学生也好，还是新移民也好，还是愿意呢，如果学商科的话呢，还是愿意选择这个专业。所以我们今天呢能够请到Crystal 呢，他是2017年进入多伦多大学罗特曼商学院，这开学呢应该是大学3年级是吧？对，大学3年级。然后呢，他呢本身呢是学经济与金融专业，辅修统计学，这个都是跟那个学 business 是有关的，因为都是一定要学的科目。而且呢，Crystal 呢，他本身呢去年呢又拿到了就是去中国银行的实习。实际上大家明白了，学经济类呢一般都是跟银行有关系的，不管是做投行也好，还是做银行的业务也好。所以呢，我们今天呢请他呢跟大家分享。当然呢，就是说我知道大部分呢可能来的这个群里的听的人呢。都是呢，就是说可能需要说英语，所以 Crystal 也可以用英语来讲。如果大家在随后的问题中呢，希望他用中文回答，也可以在那个留言上呢写上呢，就是说希望他用中文来回答，比方说一些题目都行，我们都会满足大家的要求。那么现在呢，我把这个话语权呢交给这 Crystal，让他自己给自己做一个简单介绍。当然了，我也希望都是用英文了，就是说简单介绍自己的个人情况。我也大概的在这里中文讲了一下。好，那好，我们把这个交给 Crystal，谢谢。我们也很感谢这次用这个 IV 这个就是这个平台吧，就是那个艾维教育平台提供给我们这个就是能够有 Zoom 的这种在YouTube 和在这个小鹅通上给大家的这种机会，所以我们表示感谢。好，谢谢。
谢谢金博士。So welcome. My name is Crystal. I'm very honored to be invited for this event. And today's topic is that I want to share that me as an immigrant, I want to share about my my experience in an Ontario high school and in a top university in Canada. So hopefully this event will help you to better understand the Ontario high school and university system. So let me introduce myself. I immigrated to Canada when I was 14 years old. And I entered Ontario High School in grade 9, and then I went into University of Toronto of Rotman Commerce in 2017. So let's begin today's sharing. If you have any questions during this event, you can just open your microphone to talk to me, or you can type in your chat box to ask me any questions. So for the first topic, I want to talk about something different that I felt in Ontario High School, and what's the differences between Ontario High School and high schools in China. Even though I didn't went to high school in China, but I can something that I can share to you about. So I went to a regular public high school in Ontario, and the courses were not as intense in China, of course. There were 4 courses every day. Each course is about an hour and 15 minutes. Morning classes began at 8:40 in the morning, and we dismiss at 3:15 in the afternoon. Even though the course loads are a lot lighter, but because of the language and many habits are very different. So at the beginning, there were a lot of things that I needed to adjust to. So to share what I have felt, I hope this can help help a lot of new immigrants and students. So first of all, as I said, the overall atmosphere is very different between high schools in Canada and China. They were not as stressful and the course loads are not as much, and the teachers don't feel very distant from you, and they won't push you to like finish your work. And most of the studies are like based on and they need a lot of self-motivation to finish your work. And the students don't need to be like afraid of the teachers. Most of them are very nice and very sincere. You just need to be respectful to them. And second, the classes. So in China, you basically sit in one classroom for the whole day for all the lectures. But in Canada, you need to go to different classrooms for different lectures. So if there are like students who are going into grade 9 in this coming September, my recommendation is that you can, before the first day, you can like go into the school and find out where the bathrooms are, where's the cafeteria, where's the guidance office, and go to your classrooms to see where they are and what they look like. This way it's much more like helpful and more convenient when the school starts and you only have 5 minutes for class breaks. So this way it's much more like safe and convenient. And another difference is that the high school extra curriculum is very enriched here. It's not like they focus too much on marks or grades like in China, and you have a lot of you can have a variety of club lives like clubs or volunteer works, and which I will be sharing in later topics. Okay, so the next topic is high school courses and clubs. So here, there are something that you need to be noted about. So in high school, every year's courses might affect what courses you can choose for the next year. But you don't need to worry too much about it because guidance counselors will be responsible for your course selections, and they will definitely talk everything to you at the beginning of the semester. For grade 9 and grade 10, you don't need to worry too much about course selection because most of the courses will be mandatory. So like English, math, science, PE, geography, French. I think there are only like one or two courses that are that you can select, but most other courses are mandatory and you have to take them to graduate. And those mandatory courses will be divided. There will be 2 levels for mandatory courses, academic and applied. So if you want to go into university after college, I recommend choosing academic courses because in grade 9 and 10, because you can only go from academic courses to university courses in grade 11 and 12. Yeah. So, and another thing that I wanted to mention, especially for immigrants kids, is that you can choose some courses that you can practice your oral speaking skills, like drama, because in this way you can be more open to other people and you can talk to a lot of the local friends. And of course, for selective courses, you can choose visual arts, band or choir or PE, any courses that you interest you. And so for clubs, we at our high school, which is Dr. Norman Bethune that I went to, we had like 13 or more clubs and student organizations like student council. There was an environmental action team, there was music council, and there are also clubs about anime, chess, math, Spanish, and dance. There were a lot of clubs, and there were also many teams, many sports teams like basketball, volleyball, golf, frisbee, and track. And there were many bands and choir. Some schools even have an orchestra, but we don't have that at our school. So my point is that no matter what clubs or organizations you join, I highly recommend you to join the club executives team of your interested clubs, because they can really, really enhance your leadership, your communication, and teamwork skills. Based on my experience, if you want to apply for business schools later, these club experiences are really valuable, and they're really highlights on your resume. Okay, so next I want to talk about something. So another requirements for high school graduation is this 40-hour of community volunteering services. So I think it's also a very important thing for you to enhance your soft skills, because a lot of my classmates I know actually graduated with like hundreds of volunteering hours. And so it's not a very difficult requirement. As for me, I didn't, going into grade 9, I didn't know much volunteering opportunities in general. So I just went with my friends to a local church near the community of my high school, and I just helped with their cleaning. And for that, I earned like around 15 hours of volunteering hours. So I think if you go into the higher grades later, you'll actually know more about volunteering opportunities. I have a website that you can go to search for more volunteering opportunities if you need them. I'll just post them in the chat box. Okay. I think you can see them now. Next. Oh, another way to access those volunteering opportunities and like clubs is that you can hear them from the announcements every morning. That I'm sure that every school has them. Okay, so next before I move on to my college application process, does anyone have any questions that you want to ask? You can open your microphone to talk to me, or you can type in the chat box. I think I see one question. Is it better to take the maximum courses for business program in the first semester in year 1, or minimum 4 courses and the remaining courses in summer school? Okay. Is it better to take the okay? So at U of T, the maximum courses for a semester is actually 6 courses, and there was no. I think the minimum requirement for full-time student is, I think, is 4 credits or 3 credits. But I recommend taking 5 courses, not like too stressful or too easy. Just 5 courses, I think, is the most ideal, because if you take 5 courses every year, then 4 years you will have 20 credits, and that's enough for graduation. Yeah, you need 20 credits to graduate. Does that answer your question? Because for summer, you can also take courses for the summer semester, but I would recommend doing something more, doing something other than taking courses, like finding an internship or studying like new skills for your future career. Yes. Does that answer your question? Okay, I'll go into my next topic, which is college applications. So in grade 12, at around October or November, high schools will give each student a letter which contains your school number, your student number, and then a temporary password, this kind of information. And you use this letter to log into your UX account, which is a website for college applications. The specific procedures, the school will usually talk to the students about when they gave you the letter. So you don't have to worry about the specific details. They will talk to you when they gave you the letters. And they will also give you some other information like what websites or websites you can use to look for your colleges or some major specialists. Yeah. And I recommend you to do your research and think about what you want to do, and think about what you are good at and what the world will need in the future. And based on that, and you can do your research on the internet at around like August before grade 12 starts. And you can also talk to your parents, your classmates, and the guidance counselor to select a few of your interests, like what school and what major you want to go into. And some majors will only need your grades, only need your mark to accept you. But so a lot of students I know actually got like very early offers in December or January, and then a lot of other schools, especially business programs, they will ask you to they have their own application process. They need you to write like application essays, and they have a lot of other information that they need you to fill out. And so this process actually usually ends in January or December. So I think November, December, January, and February will be the busiest season for your college application. So based on my experience, I applied for Rodman Waterloo's accounting program and Ivy. For Rodman and Waterloo's this accounting program, they need you to finish a online interview. And for Ivy, they need like 3 of your teachers or adults to be your reference. So yeah, and another thing to mention is that you can't just relax after you get your offer, because a lot of programs will need your final mark to be approved. So don't just relax after you get your offer, because if your grades dropped a lot in the final, they might and they can retract your offer. So yeah. Next question, why choose University of Toronto? I was actually very, I can't choose between Western's Ivy or Rodman in the end. But why did I choose Rodman at the very, very end? Except for its program and its professors are really, really great. And a lot of other reasons includes like its location. It's located at downtown Toronto, which is not very far from Toronto's finance center, Bay Street. And for business programs, if you want to go get a job or internship, the most important, a very, very, very big part is networking. So you have to talk to the industry people. You have to reach out to them and talk to them. So I think in terms of that, University of Toronto has pretty big advantage. And some other things like Toronto U of T or Rodman have a pretty big career center, and they have a lot of student service which are very helpful. So like it will often host events like info sessions for you to look for your job, and many services like resume writing or mock interviews, which will help you to know more people. And another big advantage about Rotman is that its aluminum network is very, very huge, which is also very helpful when you're going to work in the future. So in terms of these advantages and some reasons, some personal reasons, I chose Rotman in the end. I think there's a question. What is the difference between internship and co-op? That's a pretty good question. So co-ops, I know a lot of a lot of programs have co-op, and this is for you to, so they have the school have connections with a lot of firms, and they will post their job postings or internship like postings on their websites. And so you can go into this website and apply for their co-op opportunities. And as for internship, I think it's mostly based on your own, like you need to go into the internet and search them for yourself. And I think that's the biggest like difference. Other than that, I think it's pretty much the same. And I think a lot of like for Ramen, we don't have co-op programs, so we have to like search for internship on our own. Yeah. So okay, for next, I want to talk about the study life, the student life in U of T. So at U of T, you need to have 20 credits to graduate, and there are a lot of like big lectures in year 1 and year 2. There could be like hundreds of people there in one big lecture room. But from year 2 and going to year 2, year 3, and year 4, there might be a lot of professional, more like specialized lectures, which could be like 50 or 60 people or less. And high school's studying is very, very different from university. So first of all, in university, the courses difficulty increased a lot, and the pace also increased. So there's not many time for you to digest on yourself. So so this leads to my second point, which is you need to be self-disciplined and self-motivated to do your own work. Because in your lecture, you might learn what you learn is 2 + 3 is 5. But in your tests or final exams, they might test you what's like 8 times 7, stuff like that. So you need to do your own work and ask your questions if you need to. Nobody will ever push you on that, and nobody will check your work. Even some people don't attend the lectures, and that's optional. If you don't, some courses don't require you to go to the lectures. Yeah. And in university, I think there are more variety of clubs and student organizations. I think there were over hundreds of them at U of T. And Ramen has some program-related organizations, like in business school, you have accounting association or consulting association. And more broadly, there are like interest-related clubs like cooking club, or there are like the clubs related to your cultural background, like Chinese association, etc. From Michelle, did you have any difficulties in understanding the lectures at the beginning? If so, how did you conquer it? Okay, that's a pretty good question. So at the beginning, I did have some difficulties understanding the lectures because courses go a lot more faster in university, and the the professors talk very, very fast. So you need to very concentrate and focused. You need to be concentrated and focused in lectures. So what I did is that I tend to download the lecture slides before going to them and study them. And then I listen what the professor have to say on lecture and do the homework, because the homework, they will not check on your homework. You need to do them on yourself and ask questions if you need to. I think that answers your question. Oh, and there are a lot of like student services or like econ association. I can't remember the name of this organization, but you can get any help that you can. You can ask the TA if you want to. How is a GPA calculated? Wait, no problem. How is the GPA calculated in U of T? How is the GPA calculated? I think, so there was a semester, okay, how do I put this? So there were courses that are only a semester, and there were courses that last a long, like the whole year, the whole school year, and those are called Y courses, and the half-year courses are called S courses. So the Y courses will affect your GPA more than the S courses. But I don't really know how it is calculated, but you can calculate them. You have this GPA calculator at this at U of T's website. You just need to like enter your grades, and then it will be calculated automatically for you. Okay. Does anyone have any other questions? Okay, so for the next topic, I will talk about Rotman's professional like programs. So Rotman has 3 big streams, which is accounting, management, finance, and economics. Each program will have its own like focus. So for accounting, you can focus more on public accounting or corporate accounting or audit. And for management, there are a lot focuses like marketing, advertising, and administration, business administration, international business, and consulting. Yeah. So no matter what streams that you go into, in year 1 and year 2, there are a lot of common courses mandatory for all the streams. For example, in year 1, you have this micro and macro economics, and introduction to management, math for commerce, marketing, introduction to marketing, and financial accounting, financial markets, and the rest are selective courses. And for year 2, you have micro and macro economics and economic statistics courses, and then the rest you can choose based on your own program and interests. Okay. So next, I want to talk about what jobs or what careers that you can go into after commerce school. So I listed 9 of them, and I think, of course, you can go into other industries or careers path, but these are just the common ones that people go into after like pursuing a business degree. So first is investment banking, or a investment banking division at a commercial bank. So simply put, investment banking is that you can do like M&A or for businesses, and they might investment banking needs is very intense. The job is very intense and it's very, very stressful. It can take you can work up to like 80 or 100 hours or more each week. And it requires a lot of communication or interpersonal skills. You have to be very, very clever and very skillful at it. And it's a very competitive job. Next is consulting. Basically, you help the clients to solve about the companies to solve their development or business strategy problems. And for this job, you need to travel a lot because you need to finish the job at the client's location. And it also requires skills like communication, problem solving, and teamwork, and critical thinking. Next is sales and trading, which is another very important topic in investment banking. So you have to help the clients to buy or sell some stocks or many other commercial products. Financial products. So you need to be very sensitive about the financial markets, and you need to have a good understanding about all the different varieties of financial products. Next is asset management. Is that the client? This is an industry where you help to manage other people's money. So the clients put their money in this asset management department or firm, and the investing manager will help to decide how to invest this money to make more for the clients. So you also have to have a good understanding about the financial markets and the products, and you have to have a good understanding about statistics and math. Okay, so I think there's a question. Is your parents strict to you? What would you wish them to do different if possible? Well, I think that is pretty off the topic about what I'm talking about, but my parents was not too strict to me, I think. Yeah. They were pretty good parents, I would say. Okay, so the next industry is quant. So this industry needs you need to know a lot about math and statistics and coding and finance. Yeah, but it doesn't require too much skills about communication. So if you are like a Chinese person, then you might have to be good about this job. Next is credit management, risk management industry. You need to be more so in this job, you need to control or manage the firm or the organization's different risks, like marketing risk, credit risk, operational risk, stuff like that. And what kind of skills do you need in this industry? It depends on what kind of risk that you're managing. Like, yeah, you need to know about the financial markets, and you need to know some products, credit rating, and many credit models. So, okay, the next topic is data analysis or business analysis. So with the age of big data, so no matter what in firm you're working for, no matter what, being like financial or technology or consumer products, every firm wish that they can learn something from their data. So data analysis, the role of data analysis is getting more and more important. So you need to have the skills, you need to have problem solving and data analyzing skills to go into this industry. And there's also data scientists, which you need data to create model to solve problems. And there's also accounting or auditing. So if you heard about the big four companies, then this audit work is that you check on other companies' accounting work, and there's also finance or accounting department in every company. Yeah, you have to do budgeting, accounting, and analyzing stuff about that. I think it covers my sharing for tonight. There's a question: do you have any advice about the optional courses like the BR for the first year? For the first year, I took Psychology 101 or Psychology 100. I can't remember the course called. Yeah, but it's just Introduction to Psychology. And that's in BR4. And I think there was, I took Spanish for BR1. Yeah. Hope that answered your question.
So do you answer for the 11, like what you choose in the high school for the AP or IB?
Okay, AP or IB courses. So at our high school, for grade 12, during my year, we had AP chemistry, but I didn't took chemistry because my programs that I was going to didn't require that course. So I didn't took any courses about science. There was also math, I think, but we didn't have AP math at our school. I signed up for it, but because there was not enough people to sign up for this course, we didn't have it eventually. So I didn't take AP courses. But if you have AP courses or IB at your school, I recommend doing it if you can, because they can have a placement. They can take up a credit for you during university. Yeah.
Okay, for the question 10, do you know the difference with the Ivy and also Rotman, the difference with the business school in Canada?
Okay.
What they are like a difference, or what they are like the best way you can describe for the student if they want to choose which major, which business school they want?
Okay. So the big four business school in high school or in GTA area is probably Western's Ivy, and Rod's University of Toronto's Rodman School of Management, and there's also Queen's University Smith School of Business, I think, and there's York University's Schulich Business School. So I didn't apply for Schulich because I heard it was like pretty dangerous area around there. But in terms of the four schools, all of the four schools have very, very good programs and professors, I believe, and they have pretty big and huge alumni network. But in terms of their differences, I think the biggest difference is their location. Yeah, I prefer U of T's location more because it's at downtown, and I heard that there's like a pretty special program at Western's Ivy. Is their 2+2 program, so you can major in another. You can choose another major in the first and second year, and if you met the requirements, the GPA requirement, you can go into Ivy in the third and fourth year. So sometimes you can finish the program in 4 years or 5 years, and then after this 4 or 5 years, you have 2 degrees in the end. And for Smiths, they have very, very good networks too. And I think the biggest difference is that they have a very, very tight student body. Yeah, you have a very good sense of a student community in the school. And I think that's very, very helpful. If you want to know more about your peers and network more with them, I think that would be very, very helpful. Yeah. Okay. For grade question 9, there is a question. If you want to give some suggestions to high school students if they want to apply for Rotman, I would say first of all and most basic is your grade. So when I got into Rotman, the dean said in the welcoming party, she said that the admitting average for uh, for 2017 is 93 or 94. Yeah, but on the website, I think it just said higher 80s. So you have to take that average that they gave you, say like higher 80s, which is 88 or 87. You need to plus 5 for you, which is 92 or 93, for you to have a bigger chance to get in. Yeah, and aside from the grades, as I said, clubs or leadership experiences is very valuable. Any experiences from volunteering or from your extracurriculum, like volunteer or clubs that you're involved in, would be very valuable. And you can like search some questions that U of T Rotman asked during interviews. I think they have them online, yeah, to prepare for your online interview.
I think somebody have the question ask you, the Andrew, missed the question 3.
Oh,
can you repeat it? Like
question 3.
For high school, like courses, how to like manage them.
Okay. So my experience is that for grade 9 and 10, there were a lot of mandatory courses like English, math, science, PE, geography, and French. And I don't think there are a lot of space for you to choose in the second and first year in high school. And after that, and so in high school, the courses have 2 levels, academic and applied. And if you want to go into university after high school, then I recommend you to choose academic courses. In grade 11, if in grade 11 and 12, you can choose university courses. How to choose courses for grades 11 and 12, that would depend on your on the programs that you want to go into. Yeah, so except for English and math, which is probably necessary for most programs, you can also choose science programs like biology, chemistry, physics, and I would also recommend computer science courses. If you don't have to take you don't have to go into computer science programs in the university, but it will be very helpful for you to learn some coding to have some coding skills at this age, I think. Yeah.
Okay, I think there are students ask you about the parents strict if they have for your student life, because I know some students in high school, they may be very stressful from the the school, and also they want to compare what the stress level between the high school and also university. What do you feel the way? Like you get some anxiety or you smoothly transfer from high school to university?
Okay, so the stress level in high school is if I put the highest stress level at high school as 5, then the stress level at university is probably 8 or 9. To put things into scale for you guys. And I did have some anxiety going into university because at high school, I usually get pretty good grades. It's not too difficult to get good grades in high school, but things are just not like that in university. So so most people get like 60s or 70s, and that's pretty common. But I tried to get an A in year 1, and I think if you put in your efforts and work hard, and that's not too big an issue. If you can give an important piece of advice for the freshman studies at U of T, what would it be? Okay, so my advice is that apart from keeping up grades, keeping the GPA high, I would recommend you to join some student organization or clubs at year 1, because those can really help you to know more people and know more about students that are in the same program or have the similar career path as you in the future. Networking is very important in Canada, I would say. And especially if you're going to U of T, it's a very big school. It has a big campus and a lot of students. And for every lecture, you might sit with different people, and you don't have a very good chance at knowing them during lectures. So I would say joining club is a very great way to meet more people. Yeah. I hope that answered your question.
Okay. So there is the WeChat question. They ask, how about the GPA? Because you said there is a 60, 70, some people get it. Is will affect when you apply for the intern, or it will be affect after graduate to find a job, the GPA in university?
Okay, so GPA is pretty important for you if you want to find internships. But I heard from I now worked with a lot of people, and I did some coffee chats with the professionals. And what they say is that the GPA is not the key indicator of your ability at your work. So going into your job or finding your first full-time job, they don't look too much into your GPA. But for internships, I think it is a pretty critical part. Yeah.
So how many internship you should have to ensure later you can get a job? So like you have more intern is better, then later you can find a job?
Okay, so I don't think you can put a quantitative number on that. It's more about the quality of the internship or the co-op program. So based on my experience, I think 1 or 2 is enough for to have on your resume. And then going into your first full-time job, I think having the critical skills that the organization needs is more important. Yeah, and networking is more important.
Okay, because you ask, there people ask you, because you are like a new immigrant, right? When you go to high school, what the big challenge when you get into high school, when you come to Canada? The language or the communication or the social life?
I would say the language is the biggest problem, because if you can't communicate to your classmates, then you can't socialize with them, and that just affect everything. So I would recommend you to join clubs and talk to your classmates more in high school, because it's definitely easier. It's much easier to make friends in high school than in university. Yeah.
So what you can suggest to learn the English only for the social, join the club is the only way to prove the English for the newcomer, for the international student, or you should take some courses actually, like outside school, or what else can help them improve English?
I did not take extra courses. Well, I did take summer courses like during summer school back when I was in high school to improve my English. But aside from joining clubs and taking summer courses, I think you can also like just talk to your classmates is very is a most useful way to make friends. And I also read a lot, like read English books during my spare time to get to know better, to have better understanding of English. Yeah.
The student asked if you really think the high school, your teacher or counselor help you to understanding English and also involve in the social life in the school, or you did this by yourself?
I would say my guidance counselor and a social worker at our school really helped me with volunteering opportunities and clubs because I was a president at one of the student organizations at high school, and my guidance counselor was the teacher responsible for our clubs. So I got a lot of opportunities from her for volunteering. Yeah, because we just had I got to know her better and we had a better relationship. Yeah.
So did this internship, your club or volunteer in high school help you to apply for the business school? Because you said there is online interview, what did they ask you about?
There was one question that they will tell you previous to your interview that you can just like prepare beforehand. But there was also one question which is like a minute and a half to 2 minutes long. And I remember, I think my question is, let me think about it because it's been 3 years. Um, I think it was, what is your biggest highlights in your life? What do you think is the biggest highlights in your life? Yeah. That was my interview question for Rodman. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, your volunteer and your clubs in high school did help you answer those interview questions. And what
Oh,
are the two questions that they ask you, you respond? What do you respond them?
okay. So for clubs and volunteering opportunities, did really help me a lot with the application process because they tend to ask you, so for business programs, they tend to ask you a lot about things that other than marks or what you learn from school. And so if you have this club experiences and volunteering experiences, then you will have a lot more to talk about in your application. So for my interview questions, what is my biggest highlights? I think I talked about getting voted for the president at the student organization, getting voted the president for the student organization in my final year of high school. Yeah. And there were a lot of like different behavioral questions that they will ask you about. I recommend students to Google them online to prepare better for your interview or for the application process. Like,
So
what is your biggest what is the biggest conflicts or problem that you had to overcome in your life, and what you learned from your club experiences? Yeah, things like that.
So your intern, your volunteer, and also your club, experience did help you for the interview, right? And it did help you for the application, right?
Yes, it helped a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and how about what the process like? First you apply, and then they give you answer. But the online interview, what time they started? Like after your application, how long? Like February, March? What time they have?
Okay, so for the business schools application process, they started in late December, I think, and it will end sometimes in January or February. Yeah.
And how about the interview? When they ask you for interview?
In January and February.
So
Before, yeah, so I think there was one interview for Waterloo's accounting program. The deadline was February the 1st for my year, and then the Rotman Commerce interview was somewhere in January. I can't remember now. Yeah.
So that means they only have your like application with your interview, then they will decide if they accept you, right? They not
Yeah.
give you first round or second round. There is no that kind of, right? First
Yeah.
round, like
So you need to like submit all of your applications or essays and stuff like that first, and they will also give you a link for your interview. Yeah, so there's only one round, which includes all those things. Yeah.
So which one there have essay? Because you just mentioned about essay. Which like
Essay.
yeah, you applied with essay.
Okay. Rodman has them. Waterloo's accounting program has essays. Queens had 3, and Ivy I think had 3 too. And for Rodman and Waterloo's accounting, there were like several, but some are shorter, some are like longer in length. Yeah.
Because some students knowing about mostly university like in Canada, they don't really request for the essays, right? But you
Yeah.
said almost all the business school they need to write essay. Can you explain which kind of essay they ask you so they can know about what kind of essay, like
Okay.
type of essay?
Okay, so the essays they usually ask you about is very behavioral questions, like why do you want to choose Rotman, or why do you want to choose this program at our school, or what did you learn from this one of your club experiences or your extracurriculum experiences. And this kind of essay needs to be for Queens and Ivy. I think it was at least 500 words long or more. And for Rotman, there were a few short ones, but a few long ones. Yeah.
You mean there is several essays, not one, right? 3 or 5, something like lots of essays, right? But they have limited time to write them, or you need to submit with your application.
You don't have it's not limited time. You can submit them when you are ready, but just before the deadline, before the application deadline, you can submit them.
So the deadline is not because of the online interview, right? But it's before the online interview.
So all the essays, all the information that they ask you, and all the online interview questions will be that they have the same deadline.
Oh, got it. Because some students, they have no idea about the, the business school, and they don't know how this is applied for the, high school student. So they only think, I got a GPA very good, I can apply. But if you said there is several essays, they should like prepare, like they are in the application, they already have the question there for the essay, right? Before you apply, or how long they can prepare for their essays.
Yeah, now you can prepare for them when at the beginning when you like submitted your application when you added those programs in your UREC website.
So it's October.
So probably around October or November, and they will give out those questions after you after that time, and then you can start to prepare on them, work on them, and then submit them before the deadlines.
So that means you don't really have time to prepare them before, right? It's only after you submit the program, what you choose, and then they will send you link about the essays, and then you can prepare and write them, right?
Yeah,
There's
pretty
a
much.
very short period, like a month or two. So you
Yeah,
can.
but there were, yes, yes, much, yeah, but you can work on, like, prepare a few questions, like, why did you choose this program? Like general questions like that, you can prepare them beforehand.
Oh, can you tell us for the the business school what you applied? What are the acceptance like from the each program like about? How many percentage people can get in from all the applications?
Okay. I don't really know about the other programs, but I only know about Rotman. Um, the dean said that for 2017, the 1 out of 7 applicant got in. Yeah.
So it's about 15%, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
1
pretty
out of 7
competitive. Yeah,
applicants.
because last time we have the computer science from the Waterloo, it's very hard program. They also
Yeah.
have the similar like 15% like
Okay.
acceptance. So it's not easy. And how about your university student like a graduate from I know you're not a graduate yet. How many percentage people graduate? Because I know some people they choose another program, they move out, right? Some people they drop out or they maybe not reach the good GPA, so they may be, who knows which way, how many people, like percentage will stay in the program, finish the graduate.
Well, I don't really know a clear number about that, but most of the people that I know all graduated. I actually don't know as a lot of people like dropped out or moved to another major in my program, but I heard that my friends at from high school, she went into a business program at Laurier, and then she dropped off from this program and went to Ryerson. But then she's transferring to UTM, and when the semester begins.
Oh, so there still have some people, but mostly from Rotman, the people should be like finish their graduate, right? But from the Rotman, there is no double degree because I heard you said some business school, they have double degree after 5 years. But the Rotman, they have that?
Rodman, as I explained, there are three streams at Rodman, and they require 14 credits to graduate. But the but the um, but the credits that you need to graduate U of T is 20 credits. So you can add major or minor to this specialist that you that at RC, and you can like have like a accounting specialist with a computer science minor, and you can graduate with that. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is only minor and major, but for the double degree, it's not the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not the same.
Yeah, the 5 years there may be double degree, so they have 2 degrees. But this is only 1 degree. But as you said, it's major and minor. So in U of T, they don't have double degree for the business program.
Yeah, true.
But the Ivy they did have, right, from Western. I heard.
Because they have like a special 2+2 program, and you can graduate with HBA degree and another degree that you worked on in year 1 or year 2.
Oh, so there is 5 years for double degree, right, in Ivy?
Yeah.
Oh, but you didn't go there. Why you choose U of T then? Because there is double degree from Western Ivy. Just
Because
curious.
when I applied for the first year and second year, I didn't choose another. I chose a similar program to business, so it was I didn't choose another like very different program other than business. So I think that kind of advantage was not there for me. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you didn't choose the double degree, just choose the similar, like a bachelor degree, same as U of T. So you choose the Rotman then, right?
Yeah, and mostly I chose U of T is because it's location. Yeah, location
Oh, okay.
advantage.
Yeah, it's very like similar to close to the house. So it's great. I think I think that almost the question is done, and because the time now is already 9 past, like past 10, right? But
Yeah,
we thankful for your time and also, the opportunity that you can talk about the like the mostly the business school in Canada. And I think this is like a kind of the for the student who want to apply for the this major, like kind of like a business or economic, also for the banking, right? Accounting. This is related, and you also explained very well for the 9 type of the majors, right? Not the major, but there are how many programs.
industries. Yeah,
So that's very good. So they can have more opportunity for the future. I think a business major is very broad
yeah,
for the working, opportunities.
yeah.
So we wish you good luck for your future, like career and also study. But we
Thank
also thankful for your time to share with student, with the parents, so they can know lots of better way. And I think they should learn lots of from you, and you give like a good advice. You can see people also ask you for the advice, right? 所以呢，就是说今天我就大概讲了一下。其实我最高兴的是说什么呢？很多就是关于这个 business school 呢，很多人可能都知道，但是都很模棱两可，他不是很详细的知道。所以呢，你今天给大家讲了很多，而且讲了好几个这个business school 的他们的区别。所以呢，我希望呢大家从这里边呢能知道，而且你其中讲一个很重要的就是它会有 essay。对吧？会有 interview，所以说它和其他的大学的申请和加拿大的这些大学申请还不是完全一致或者完全一样，所以希望很多人呢能够从中呢学到东西，就是说能知道呢，他要有一些准备，对吧？包括你刚才讲过，就是一个 volunteer 的这个 experience，还有一个是你的就是在这个 club 在学校的做学生会的工作，这些呢都可能都对你申请大学呢。因为大家都以为呢，加拿大大学可能不需要这些，实际上做这个 business program 还是需要的。我感觉就是我现在做了几期的，就是加拿大学生的，大家都没有讲过这个 IC，或者说这个详细的关于这个 interview 的东西。但是你今天讲到了，我觉得这个对大家对我们这个所有的学生来讲是一个非常好的补充，因为跟其他大学跟其他专业都不太一样。所以呢，我们也是非常感谢，就是那个曹同学给我们 Crystal 给我们来讲的这个今天的分享。当然了，我们也感谢呢艾维教育给我们提供的平台。我们呢希望呢就是更多的学生和家长加入到我们的分享，因为我们都是每周日的晚上8点。然后呢，我希望呢就是大家都能够受益。那谢谢你 Crystal，好吗？谢谢。OK，Thank you，
拜拜。
拜拜。
Have a good night.
Yeah，have a good night。